All right, so which ones would you like me to talk about? Oh my goodness. You guys just like got younger by 2 years. You're all giggly now. Which ones can I talk about? Some of them were pretty tough. The ones where, which one?
21.
21 and 4. The more you practice these, the more you look at this at home, the easier this is going to be for you.
Never mind. Number 21 was actually one of the easiest ones because I worked everyone out fast.
Okay.
Actually, I would like to do number 15.
You're just going over the numbers because you don't even have the whole thing in front of you.
Yes, I do. I'm getting out of there.
All right, let's take a look at it. So number 4 asks, what are angle 4 and angle 5? What is the vocab word for angle 4 and angle 5? There are 2 questions you need to ask yourself every time. First question, same side or alternate side? Everyone look at those circles. Are they on the same side of the transversal or alternate side? So you write alt, or you spell out the whole word, which is better. And then the next thing you ask yourself is interior or exterior, right? If you're having trouble seeing that, you can connect your lines and you can pretend that's a house. Are 4 and 5 in the house or out of the house? They're in the house. It's not that hard of a question. They're interior. So alternate, interior, and then you just write the word angles. That's how you ask yourself every time. Alternate or same side, and then interior or exterior. That's the formula. What do you want to do from the next section? Give me one from...
Take it 25.
Okay, anything from 11 through 22. You want me to do any of those?
21.
21. Okay. 7 and 14. 7 is right there. I underlined it, and 14 is right there. This is one of the ones where I would take my paper, and what did I tell you to do? Rotate it 90 degrees. Make your transversal be going vertical, up and down, instead of left, right. I'm not going to do that on the computer screen, but if we look at those 2, 7 and 14, we need to ask ourselves, are they on the same side of the transversal or alternate sides? One's above and one's below. That's alternate sides. That's different sides. So you write alternate. And then, are they interior or exterior? If I were to connect this and make a house, are they inside the house or outside the house? They're definitely outside. Alternate exterior angles. So that's the process that you walk through each time. Okay, what about the bottom? I'll do one of them at the bottom.
That's 25.
25, thank you for asking. For AB and DC cut by transversal AC, you know what I like to do? Extend the line so they start to look like all the other pictures we've seen. Make them look like your prior knowledge, what you already know. Name the angle that is alternate interior to BAC. I would mark that with an arc. That's BAC. So we need to go to the alternate side of the transversal, but we want to stay inside the house because it's interior, right? So go to the alternate side and stay interior. There it is. And now all we have to do is name it. D, C, A. This angle right here. Start at D, go to C, and end at A. That angle right there. Okay. So that's all your homework was. It was naming angles. It was just giving them names. You weren't doing any math and you weren't solving any problems. Well, the reason we were naming all of those is because we are about to solve problems, but you had to know their names in order to solve the problem. So I do need you to... So hopefully when you were measuring, you only came up with 2 different numbers. If you measured everything precisely, exactly correct, you should have only come up with 2 different numbers. And what should have been true about those 2 numbers? What does it mean when they add 20? What's that called? Supplementary. Yes, yes. Linear pair, they're adjacent. They are. So we noticed that we only got 2 numbers out of this whole thing, and that those 2 numbers were supplementary. Look at your picture and see the pattern. In my picture, where are all the yellow angles? You kind of see how they're on a diagonal?
Yes.
Everything that's yellow is going this way, right? And then everything that's aqua is on the other diagonal, right?
Yes.
True or false? If we have parallel lines cut by a transversal, and I tell you one angle, then you could tell me all 8 angles. True or false?
True.
Whoa, really?
No.
I can tell you just one and you'll know all 8 of them? Okay, what's this one? 110. What's this one? What's this one?
110.
So you mean all the yellow ones are 110 and all the aqua ones are? Yes. So cool. Now, this happens, and I said this, but I didn't say it. This happens if and only if. If and only if what? They're parallel. Because if those lines are not parallel, then you throw these theorems out the window. They don't even make sense. They will not be true if the lines are not parallel. So I want you to flip your sheet over, go back to the front of your sheet. And we need to see if we can come up with a pattern. So when I call your name, I want you to come and drag this word, and we're going to put it in the correct spot, whether they're congruent or whether they're supplementary. And to help you out, I'll do a split screen, so you can see this and this at the same time. I'll do one of them for you, okay? This is how you would do it. Alternate exterior. So go to the picture. Which ones are alternate exterior? So like this one and this one, right? The stars. Are those the same color or different color? Same color. So which column would I put this in? Congruent. Does that make sense how you're processing this? All right. Steven is not here. Trey, go do one. Brooke, go do one. Captain, go do one. Kevin, go do one. Waylon, go do one. Linear pair, congruent or supplementary? What does line mean? There you go. There you go. What? Okay. Look at the picture. Are vertical angles congruent or supplementary?
I think congruent.
The corresponding angles would be like this one and this one. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had to put the pin down first. Look at the picture. Uh-oh, you're rotating it. Use your knuckle. Oh no, okay. Alternate interior like this and this. Okay. Yep. And Irene, you got the last one. I will unrotate it for you. See, if we didn't look at our vocab this whole weekend, then we're kind of having trouble with this. This is confusing to us if we haven't practiced with that vocab and done that homework. We don't even know what same side interior looks like or alternate exterior looks like. If we don't know what it looks like, we're in trouble. Very nice. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, now the next thing is I need you to notice something. I need you to notice a pattern. Take a look at those two columns. Look at what words are in what columns. What do you see, Austin?
If they're alternate, they're congruent, but if they're the same, they're supplementary.
Very good. That's one observation. Now, this guy's kind of the odd one out. If he wasn't there, he's from our old vocab sheet anyways, right? If he wasn't there, what would you say is true about everything in this column? including the title of the column? It starts with an S. Look. S, S, S. Well, that's pretty handy. So if it starts with an S, it's supplementary. And if it doesn't start with an S, it's congruent. If it starts with an S, it's supplementary. If it doesn't start with an S, it's congruent. What's the only exception to the rule? Linear pair. But we can forgive him because he has the word line in his name. And how many degrees are in a line? 180. So we'll forgive him for not starting with an S, okay? If you can remember this, then you can solve any problem I throw at you about parallel lines and a transversal. Okay? So let's see if we can try some. Find where you take notes and sketch this picture real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if we can find all the missing angles. Given that the measure of angle 1 is 120. Now, there's an easier way to do this, but because I can tell y'all have not practiced your vocab at home, we're going to do it the hard way until I feel like you know your vocab, and then I'll teach you the easy way. So you are in punishment mode right now. Because I can tell when y'all are dragging to the columns that you don't know your vocab. Alright, so punishment mode. We are going to compare each of these angles to angle 1, because we know angle 1. It's given that angle 1 is 120 degrees. So we are going to compare each one to angle 1. I would draw the picture real quick. Put angles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number it just like I numbered it. Look right up here, Richie. I did cover myself. Yeah, I made sure to put that, or else we'd be in trouble. We would be in trouble if I didn't say A was parallel to B. Thank you for catching that. Good thing I had that on that slide. Alright, let's start with an old vocab word that you already knew. Michelle, how is angle 2 compared to angle 1? What is the vocab word? Linear pair, ding, ding, ding. And we know that linear pairs are congruent or supplementary, everybody? Supplementary. How do you find the supplement of 120? We practiced this last week. 180 minus 120. Chris, what do you get?
60.
60 degrees. The measure of angle 2 is 60. Moving on. Angle 3. Let's compare angle 3 to the one we just found. Alyssa, what's the vocab word for angle 2 and angle 3? Vertical angles. And I made you write on your notes, vertical angles are always blank. Congruent. So what's the measure of angle 3?
60.
Done. 60. Those are vertical angles and 60. You don't have to write this every time, the vocab word. You don't. I'm just making you practice. Alright, those were old. Let's do something new. Angle 4. Oh, that's still old. Let's move on. Angle 5. So I'm going to compare what they gave me, 120. I'm going to compare it with angle 5. I need everyone to think in their head of what the vocab word is for angle 1 and angle 5. Don't say it out loud. What is the vocab word for 1 and 5? Kaylee, what do you think? Is 5 exterior? I agree that 1 is, but 5 is not. So I call this, yes, ding, ding, ding. I call it the slide one. Corresponding angles. Does that start with an S? No, if it doesn't start with an S, they're congruent. These are congruent. 120, 120. They're congruent. Because all of our angle pairs that don't start with an S are congruent. Besides linear pairs. Alright.
Was that for 4 or 5?
Oh, sorry. We skipped 4 because I got tired of using the old ones. Alright. Okay, ready? Let's compare angle 3, which is 60, with angle 6. Joanne, how does angle 3 compare with angle 6? What's the vocab word? Alternate interior. Does that start with an S?
No.
If it doesn't start with an S, then they're congruent. So what's the measure of angle 6? 60. Congruent to angle 3. Congruent. Okay, and we can finish it off the easy way. 6 and 7 are vertical angles. So what's 7? 60, and 8 and 6 are a linear pair, so what's 8? You can do lots of things. You can say 1 and 8 are alternate exterior, so they're congruent. There's lots of ways to get these answers. Okay, now let's do this one. I'm not going to make you draw this one, okay? Bless you. Even though I still don't feel like you know your vocab, I'm going to teach you the quick way to do this one, the trick, so that you can find all of the angles really, really easy. Because when there's 16 angles, that's a lot to deal with. So here's the trick. Is everyone watching? I'm only showing this once. You watching? You're watching? Step 1, you pick a diagonal. You can choose the diagonal that goes that way, or you can choose the diagonal that goes the opposite way. I don't care which one you choose. It doesn't matter. You pick a diagonal and you stick with it. So I'm going to pick this diagonal right here. And what that means is I'm going to circle every angle that is along that diagonal. You see what I circled?
Yes.
Diagonal, 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 diagonal. Here's the trick. Angle 6 is 85 degrees. What's the linear pair of 85? What's angle 5? 95. Good job, those who can do mental math. Okay, look at this. Everything that's circled is 95 degrees. You don't even have to know the vocab word. Everything that's circled is 95 degrees. What's everything that's not circled? 85 degrees. We now know all the angles. It's that easy. Kenny, what's the measured angle 2? 85. Boom. It's not circled. If it's not circled, it's 85. If it's circled, it's 95. It's that easy. Angie, angle 4. Oh, I'm here.
Is it 95 and 85 is
Yes, because we knew this one, and we know that linear pairs add up to one angle. Raquel, what is the measured angle 4? 95. Alex R., what's the measure of angle 14? 85. Everything circled is 95. Everything not circled is 85. Josh, when is the only time that all of this works, that my circle trick works? When the lines are often parallel. If this wasn't written up here, then we could not solve this problem, not even close. If A parallel to B and C parallel to D, then we could not do anything. Actually, this is a good follow-up question. If they weren't parallel, and we still knew angle 6 was 85, we know that that's 85, but these are not parallel. How many angles could we solve for?
3, 4.
Well, we would know 4 angles. We could solve for 3, but we would know 4 angles. We would still know that this is 85, because vertical angles don't need parallel lines. And we would still know that these are 95 because linear pairs don't need parallel lines. But could we find any of these other angles? No, because the lines aren't parallel, so we can't use our trick. We would only know this little cluster at this intersection right here. Okay, whoa, draw this one on your page because that looks complicated. I actually am out at the end of class. You can go to the nurse and get a bandage and then get me more for my classes.
Okay.
GH is parallel to IJ. Find X and Y. This is the first KU level problem of the day. GH is parallel to IJ. What's that phrase? When life gives you lemon,
Make lemonade.
make lemonade. Why in the world did I bring that up? You're not going to tell us, right?
Because you've been writing yellow.
Is that what I write in yellow? Oh, that actually wasn't why. I'll write in yellow just because you said that.
No, it's
Why
the
is
whiteboard.
120?
When your picture does not have parallel lines cut by a transversal, then you make lemonade. You turn your picture into parallel lines cut by a transversal. And then you'll get to use all the things that we learned. So if you extend them and then extend your transversal, it will bring you back to what our pictures were looking like before I showed you this crazy diagram. So I recommend you do that. Here's where you kind of got to know your vocab. Let's get y first, because that's the easiest one. 122 and y. Richie, what's the vocab word for those two angles? Turn your head sideways. I call it the slide angle, because you could just take this one and slide it into its spot, but it's corresponding with the answer. Look, this fits here. See how it perfectly fits? Corresponding. Does that start with an S?
No.
No, it doesn't start with an S in there. Congruent. So 122, 122. Trey, what did you need?
Oh, no, I was going to answer.
You were going to answer. Oh, okay. All right, what in the world are we going to do about X? What I recommend is that you treat this whole angle as just one angle for now and compare it to 122.
So 1.2 minus 9.
Mina, what's the vocab word for these two angles? Yes! Same side interior angles. Does that start with an S? Yes, it does. So what are they? Supplementary. So I know that those two angles, 122 and then 18 and X, because they're an angle together, I know they equal 180. So you just go to your calculator and you do 180 minus 122 minus 18. Well, okay, that's good plus. But when you go to your calculator, you move them so you subtract them both. Austin, what do you get?
40.
40? You okay with that? Okay, very good. Last problem of the day, last one. Yeah, I would draw it. This one won't take very long to draw. This is a trapezoid, but it does say underneath it's not an isosceles trapezoid. Not that you necessarily know what that means until next semester, but, well, not that you know what it implies. I know you know what it means, that two sides are congruent. That's what I thought this was. Now you have to be really careful. If I were you, I would recommend only dealing with one transversal at a time. When I say that, what I mean is, here's your parallel lines. I always like to make them longer so they look like parallel lines. And you can deal with this transversal first. It autocorrects me. See how it does that? Straightens my line for me. Autocorrect your unstraight lines, Miss Stanton.
Yeah.
Ricardo, what is the vocab word for this angle compared to this angle? Try again. Ding, ding, ding. Same side interior angles. What does that start with? An S. Therefore, they are supplementary. So how do you find the measure of X? You add them to equal 180. 40 plus 5X is 180. Subtract 40, divide by 5, the usual solve for X stuff. Kevin, what do you get?
28.
What? 28? Ask me a question. Yeah, ask me a question. Does anyone have a question?
Oh.
Alright, now we can focus on the other transversal. Now we can look at this one. What type of angles do we have this time, Maddie? Bless you, Maddie. What type of angles are these? I said bless you to Isaiah, and then I asked Maddie what type of angles these are. Same side of the purple line or alternate sides of the purple line? Same side interior angle. Cool. Does that start with an S? Yes, sir, it does. 74. Oops, I keep doing that. 70Y. 74 minus Y plus 115 equals 180. You're going to get a negative Y equals a negative number, and those negatives can just cancel. I promise. 74 minus Y this one,
I was
plus 115 equals 180. So subtract 74 and 115 from 180. It'll be negative, and then make it positive. Isabel, what do you get? 180 minus 74 minus 115.
41.
41? Are we good with that?
Is it plus 115 or minus 115?
Yeah, 9.
I got
So
9.
you find the average.
180 minus 115 minus 74 is 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
Yes,
You
sir.
said it's done.
No,
Divided by
You can combine 74 and 15. So 74 plus 115.
189.
189 minus y equals 180. Subtract 189. Negative y equals negative 9. Divide by negative 1, aka cancel out your negatives. Y is 9. That's all there is to it. Okay, you have a practice tonight. If you did not do your homework over the weekend, it is highly important that you do tonight's practice.